Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to make a model of a player dashboard. So it can be used when playing board games, it can hold cards, pieces of the board game or anything else that you need for your game. It's not designed for a specific game. It can be edited to be suited to a game in particular, but I'm just going to do a generic one for now. So let's get straight into it. So I'm going to create new component. I always do this because when the models get more complex and you've got multiple parts, it's better to create components so they're easier to edit. What I'm going to do next is rotate the workspace by clicking the top plane on the square, and then I'm going to click Create Sketch. I'm going to you have to click on the plane, and because we've already got the workspace oriented, it automatically clicks onto the top plane. I want a rectangle. I'm going to do center rectangle because that snaps the center of the rectangle onto the origin when you click it. And then I'm going to add some sketch dimensions. So this dimension here is going to be 142. Oh, that's big. And then this dimension here is going to be 270. And finish sketch. So then what I'm going to do next is just rotate the work plane using the scroll button, and I'm going to click extrude, and I'm going to, okay, it was already selected, the profile, and I'm going to make that 10 millimeters, which is 1 centimeter tall. Next, I'm going to draw on this top face, so select it and click Create Sketch. So I'm going to make it a mixture so it can hold an equal amount of cards and larger playing pieces and smaller playing pieces, but this can be edited depending on what game you want to make this for, if you just want to make it generic like I am. So I'm going to click rectangle and 2-point rectangle, and this is because I'm going to dimension this to the edges of the square. So I'm just going to draw that, and then I'm going to put some dimensions in. So I'm going to click the outer edge of the extrude and then the edge of this rectangular sketch, and I'm going to make that 5. I'm going to do the same the other side. You can make this symmetric if you want to. I'm just doing it this way because this is, for me, a slightly better way of doing it right now. And then I'm going to make this whole box 3. So this is going to be where the cards are going to be held. I'm going to escape from that, and I'm going to select this whole sketch. I don't want that line. Actually, I think I can, if I do rectangular pattern, objects, you do have to click them all individually. So click the lines. Actually, I'm going to do rectangular pattern, line, click the line. I might have to zoom in, click, and then you want to zoom to the other side, or you can just press pan and drag it. And escape from pan and then click that. So we've got 4 selected here. Directions, if you click select, I'm going to click this straight edge. It doesn't really matter which edge you click, because you can reverse it if it goes the wrong way. I think that is going the wrong way. It looks like that arrow is pointing upwards, but that's okay because I can change that. Quantity 3, yes. And then what I want is spacing. So this is the space between each instance of the sketch, and I want them 4 millimeters apart. No, I don't. I want the gap between them to be 4, and then because they're 3 overall, it means they need to be 7. And then I'm going to flip the dimension. Okay, yeah, it's minus. There we go, -7, and that gets it to go the other way. And then that rectangular pattern, if you want to go back and edit it, it's this little symbol here, and you just double click it and it will come up and you can edit it as you wish. Next, I'm going to create some larger holes to hold larger playing pieces. So I'm going to do sketch dimension. I drew the rectangle, and now I'm going to dimension it. So this is 65, this is 84. Oops. And I'm going to escape from there, and I'm going to I want this edge to be in line with the edge that I created for the cards. So if you go to constraints and click coincident, you can click that point and that point. Don't do that. Click undo. You want vertical, horizontal. Clap that point, and that makes them vertical. Okay, and then escape from that. Right, I'm not going to dimension these two yet, so they're still blue, those two lines, because I'm going to dimension that bit at the end. There's no reason for that, it's just slightly easier for me. So I'm going to a rectangular pattern, this, there, and there we go. Direction, this direction, and the blue arrow is pointing the correct way. I do want 3, and I want them to be, I think it's 18, no it's not, 86, nope, 87, 8, there we go, 88, because I want this line, this vertical line, to be in line with the vertical lines above, and they are. And then the next thing I'm going to do is draw another rectangle, like that, sketch dimension, that's going to be 44, and this is going to be 62, escape from there, just going to move this across, and I'm going to do sketch dimension. I'm going to dimension it from the bottom. Okay, we're back. I had a slight issue with the recording. the only thing that's happened is that this has now been saved. It's called Player Dashboard. So what I was doing was I was dimensioning. So I'm going to dimension this to the bottom edge of the dashboard. So I'm going to make that 4. And then I'm also going to make the distance between this one and this one 4 as well. And that has made these 3 boxes all black now, which means that they are fully defined. Now, so I'm going to escape from there. I'm then going to do another rectangular pattern. I'm going to select the 4 lines of this box, and I'm going to select the direction, which I'm just going to select the bottom line. Spacing is fine. I'm going to put it up to 4, and there will be 66 millimeters apart, and that, yep, that's fine. And click OK. So that lines up those edges as well. I'm going to click Finish Sketch. Just rotate that so I can see it a bit better. And I'm going to click Extrude, and I'm going to click the 7 boxes. What I want to do is I want them to be cut down into the material, so I'm going to minus it, and I'm going to put 7 millimeters, and it comes up with cut, so you know that's correct. And then for the so if at this point the sketch disappears, it might look like that. You just go into Components, the little arrow next to it, Sketches, the arrow next to that, and then next to each of the sketches there's an eye icon, and if you click it, that now shows the sketch. If it's got the line through it and it's kind of greyed out a bit, that means it's the sketch is hidden, but it's there if you need to find it. And I'm going to extrude these 3 as well, but I'm not going to extrude them as much because I don't want 7 millimeters of the cards covered. So I'm going to do it as 4 for the moment, and again as a cut. What you could do if you wanted to do is you could stagger it, so you could have the bottom one is 4 millimeters deep, the middle one is 3 millimeters deep, and the top one is 2 millimeters deep, and then you can stagger the cards so they're a little bit higher, or more than that if you want to as well. Okay, so next I'm going to add fillets. So I'm going to start with the external edges. So I've clicked the fillet, and you can just start clicking the edges that you want to fillet. So I'm going to click the 4 edges, and I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to select the bottom. And when you select the bottom face, it just automatically selects all the edges that that face has. And I'm going to make this 5, whoops, not 5A, 5 millimeters. And the reason I do that is because visually it looks quite nice, but then it also feels nice when you're holding it. And then I'm going to do some more fillets. So I'm going to click all. Hang on, let me cancel that. Edit the fillet. Yes, okay, so you just click at the plus sign to add another set of fillets. So I'm going to click the 7 boxes, holes. I'm also going to select the card holes as well. Okay, so they're the bases. I'm also going to select the vertical of each of these as well. Pan across. Escape from there. So I'm fairly certain that there is a better way of doing this. However, when I looked into this, it's probably about a year ago, there wasn't. So it's probably something I should look into again, because this can be quite tedious doing this. One there. If you click the wrong one, you can just click it again and it will unselect. Let's do all of these internal ones as well. That one. And then I think there's some more up here that need doing. Not you. That one, that one, that one. Okay, I think that is all of them. I'm going to go with yes on that one, and then I want to select the face as well, and I'm going to make that all 1mm, and I'm going to click OK. So that is my dashboard done. So I've done it in this way because it's got a little bit of everything, but there are other ways of doing this. So some of the other ideas is, this one is if you're playing a game that's got a lot of cards. Again, you can stagger the depths of these card holes so that you can see them a bit better, but there's still a few containers for board game pieces. There is also a vertical one, so this would be, it's longer and thinner, and it would go alongside the board of the game, to the side of it. And then there's this one as well that's just a bit curved if you wanted a more curved design rather than a square one or rectangular one. But I'm going to stick with this one for now. So I'm going to save it. So because I've already saved it, when you save it again, it comes up with a version description because you've made a change to it. So it's up to you if you want to actually put something in here. It's useful for going back if you need to and finding, if you've changed something, you can go back in the file and find it again. So I'm just going to leave it as user save, to be honest, because this is finished. So yeah. And then you need to do file and export, and make sure STL is selected and click export, and that will say in the corner that it's exported. Then you need to go to your Ultimaker Cura and open that file. So player dashboard to open. And because it was drawn on the top plane, it comes up in the correct orientation already. What is good about this as well is that because of the way it's been made, it doesn't need any supports really. I do have the supports set at tree, touchscreen build plate, standard quality, resolution. That's not the supports, that's the print. And I'm going to click slice, and I'll see if it wants me to put any additional supports in. So 16 hours preview. So So there's no additional supports. The supports are shown in blue. Oh, there's a few. Just in the tiny supports. I might, whoops, where have I gone? Right, I might actually change that. So I think so I find sometimes with tree it will just add supports when they're probably that you don't really need them. So I'll see what this does if I change it to normal. Let's get rid of that. Okay, it does want some supports. Okay. I mean, that's right on the bottom. It's probably because that that edge is radiused, so it does need something underneath to just support that corner whilst it's printing, and this edge really. So actually, if it wants supports, I will give it supports. Let's go back to tree because there's less of them, and it should leave less marks on the part after printing. Okay, so I'm happy with that. That fits nicely on my printer. And so at this point you can save it to disk, and you can save it to a USB or a data card, or if you've got a printer that you can just send the file directly to it, do that. And then follow the instructions on your printer, and hopefully it will come out nicely. But let me know how it goes in the comments. If any of the other dashboards I showed you earlier you liked, let me know and I can do a video on how to make those as well. But if not, good luck with it, and I'll see you next time.